Welcome to News Now Alberta. This is Special Ed. Today we're looking at an old video, but it took so long for everything to be settled in this. So we're looking at a cop who tased a teenager who was riding an ATV. The teenager crashes and dies.
Welcome back, everybody. Today, I've got a heartbreaking story for you guys, but it results in a little bit of justice. Today's story comes from Detroit, Michigan, from 2017, August 26. 15-year-old Damon Grimes was riding his ATV down some residential streets. The chase lasted a little bit less than 5 residential blocks when now fired state police trooper Mark Bessner fired a taser at the driver of the ATV, causing it to flip, killing the operator. Now right here on screen you can see the police chasing the ATV, and right there at the end you can see the ATV bounce off something and appear back into frame.
He flip, yep. Alright,
In the surveillance video released by a nearby business, it does look like the police might have their lights and sirens on. However, when viewed from a different angle, and with a timer indicating the point of impact, we can see that it took over 20 seconds for the cops to actually put their lights on. The question still remains whether or not CPD actually had lights and sirens on and were trying to pull over Damon Grimes.
Yeah, he's got a pulse and he's breathing. He's unconscious. Clear.
Multiple other units arrive on scene.
Oh, 09, he slowed down. We tased him and he crashed out.
So he was slowing down as the man tased him. So he lost control.
This police officer is Mark Bessner. He's the one who fired his taser out of a moving vehicle at the driver of another vehicle, an ATV, at a minor, 15 years of age, with no protective gear, no helmet, which is indeed a violation of department policy. Everything you guys are watching is from body cam, dash cam, and nearby surveillance video. However, Detroit Police Department never released the dash cam footage from the actual vehicle that was chasing Damon Grimes.
He's breathing, yeah? Let's get his Damon.
Damon Grimes. Grimes. That's really...
That's just one.
That's not good. That's why he's cruising.
Can you get a mask out of them?
Units at Gratiot and Rossini. EMS is coming from Gratiot and Houston Whittier.
Don't run from the state police. You get fucked up.
Wow, don't run for the state police or you get fucked up.
You want to check pulse again?
Yeah. He had a strong pulse when we got here. It's real faint.
Try to wipe his face a little bit and get that feel with the mask.
I got blood all over his head. I can't use it.
Right here.
Okay, unit said that Rossini and Gratiot, medic should be pulling up in less than a minute.
Tell him to get over here. Christ's sake. Come on, fellas.
Is that his home?
Yeah.
As EMS arrives, several of the police officers involved turn off their body cameras. However, one activates her body-worn camera.
From all of these cops, only one thinks that it's important to see what's going on. It's against policy to shut off your camera until everything is done.
Should we give them like an escort or something to St. John's? Should we give them an escort to St. John's?
Hell no. They got license hours.
Yeah.
We only do that for police.
Okay.
Enter onto the scene Officer Aubrey Wade. Now, did you hear what this guy said? The female officer was just asking for an escort for the person that her department just murdered. However, Officer Aubrey Wade said no. We only do that for police officers. Just another harsh reminder that the police officers are not here for us. They are only there for themselves. At this point in time, Officer Wade had 22 years on the force, and because of this incident, was demoted back to a regular officer. More about that in a moment.
I didn't know they were chasing a four-wheeler.
It took a full 10 minutes for ambulance crews to transport Damon Grimes. Doctors pronounced him dead on arrival. He was only 15 years old.
That's a grown ass man.
He's 15.
Like 5-1.
Where's his mom at?
No way. He's a badass, 15. I'm sorry, man. I ain't got no sympathy. No bullshit. You know what I'm saying? No sympathy at all for bullshit. Motherfucker want to be grown, act grown, and fucking deal with it.
He shouldn't have been demoted. This pig should have been fired for this. This is ridiculous.
What happened? What happened?
They tased his ass while he was driving, causing him to flip in the crash.
Why the hushed tones? I mean, thank God this one cop that pulled up on scene as soon as she got there turned on her body cam and caught all of that. Otherwise, these cops would still be free. 3 outcomes in this case. Number 1, on December 27th, 2019, just a week ago, courts ruled that the family of Damon Grimes would receive $12 million for the wrongful death. As mentioned before, Officer Wade was demoted for this incident. However, Ethan Berger and Sergeant Jacob Liss, another supervisor on scene, Ethan Berger being the driver of the vehicle that the officer Mark Besner fired the taser out of, the driver and the supervisor both resigned. However, Mark Besner himself is now currently sitting in prison serving 5 to 15 years for involuntary manslaughter, which is not only rare, but it's actually kind of a blessing, because in this case, for the charges that Besner was facing, the mandatory minimum was only 38 months. However, the judge decided that since this officer should have known better, the mandatory minimum was placed at 60 months, which is 5 years. And I think that one of the big reasons why she did that is because Mark Besner, the officer that fired the taser, has an actual law degree. So not only should he know better because of his training, but he should know better because of his education. The judge told Besner that he had abused the public trust placed in police officers. And yes, we would all agree, it is very difficult to place any trust in any law enforcement officer when we have people doing stuff like this.
There's no involuntary here. You tase a kid who's riding an ATV. You basically know what the outcome's going to be. He's going to be very hurt or dead.
Now, out of that $12 million, $4 million are going to go to the lawyers of the family, and obviously it's not going to bring back their son. Unfortunately, we still have dirtbags like this still on the streets, but 3 will no longer be in law enforcement. That concludes our story today. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate your support. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
That cop shouldn't be in jail for way longer than that. At least 30 years for what he did here. Like the judge said, he should have known better. He's not uneducated, but he's pretty damn stupid. What do you think of this? Do you think this kid deserved to die for riding an ATV on the road? Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.